Good morning, gang. Good morning. Welcome to this week's altcoin update. As usual, nothing discussed today is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only, and it's just my view of the markets. Now that's out of the way, we're going to make this one short and sharp today, because Bitcoin's very interesting to trade, and I want to get back to trading that. So, today we are going to be looking at ETH and PEP, because that's what's been requested. Obviously PEP, everyone's banging on about it. So yeah, let's dive straight into it. So ETH first and foremost. Now obviously we've been monitoring ETH for quite some time. I'm actively trading ETH because it's been great. So this is the old TA that we've had on the charts now for weeks, months even. And this is where we're up to. So we can see here, we broke out with the original range that we're looking at. You can see the light blue lines. That was the original range what we're looking at. Up here, where we're actively saying not a good place to long from a risk to reward point of view. Did end up getting a pullback, and then we've come back out, back tested the range high, and had another push higher. Obviously similar to what Bitcoin's done as well. So obviously if you want to know what ETH's going to do, you know, between Bitcoin and ETH, they're your best examples, your best charts to look at to see what the rest of the market is looking like. Now, what can we say about this? Well, after this pullback here, now this, we did have several reasons in the group to short this, which is why a lot of people in our group still hold on to ETH shorts. And we came back down, and what we've done is we've retested the range high, which was the breakout, and we've also retested this parallel sloping channel. Now again, we've had this on the chart for months now, and I've been saying keep an eye on it. So from here, what's next? Well, so far, structure is still, on the high time frame, structure is still creating high highs and higher lows. So what can we deduce from this current move right now? Well, assuming that we maintain this structure, now obviously locally we are in a bearish posturing, but this new low now is going to be crucial. If we start to lose this parallel channel EQ and come back into the old range range high even, and we get a clear breakdown, the structure remains bearish on the low time frame, and then it starts pulling through to the higher time frame, taking out this low, not as a swing failure pattern, by the way, because we could see a liquidity grab here and reverse back up. But if we do start taking out this low here and start coming down, then we're back to trading this old range. Okay, so within this old range, ignoring the parallel channel for the time being, but if we get back in here, then the points of interest will be value area high, the EQ once again. Now, bear in mind, depending on if this does come down, depending on when it comes down, we could have time on our side here as well. Because if this does come down towards the EQ and it's over this sort of direction, and this lines up also with the parallel channel, then we've got a bit of confluence. Now, that would be happening around July, so it's quite a way off, but something to keep an eye on. If it just comes back in, get no reaction from a value area high, no reaction from the EQ, then I'll be looking back down towards this point of control. Bear in mind, if you look on the volume profile here, we can see big gap within volume here. So this whole area here is thin. Okay. So the next major structure in terms of volume that comes in is actually just below this EQ around this zone here. Okay. So that's coming in, what, around 1350, give or take? Well, 1320, 25. Okay, for easy numbers. Now, what happens if we don't break down here and we change structure? We start coming back up. Well, first we can be looking for a liquidity grab of these highs here. Now, that's coming in at 1965, give or take. So that would be the first point of interest. Again, that'd be a low time frame trade. Okay. If that doesn't happen and we just continue up, then I'll be looking back into this zone here. Now we can see here in the volume profile, we do have a bit of volume up here. Okay, so if we do get back up there, that'd be my next point of interest up this area. What happens here? Do we get up here and start changing market structure to the downside? Again, you've got a fresh short opportunity there, / take profits on your longs. If that doesn't happen and it clears this, then I'll be looking again, time comes into play with this, back up at this parallel channel again. Okay, this parallel channel for me right now is important in terms of Elliott wave counts. Okay, get out of this parallel channel, then we can be looking for much higher targets. Stay within this parallel channel, then we've got to exercise caution and just treat this as just one big range. Okay, so it's fairly simple plan with ETH, nothing complex. Next, moving on, PEP. Oh, PEP's a great one. Pepe or whatever you want to call it. I don't know how they say it. I'm not young enough to understand. Let's zoom into the 1 hour. Now, posted this on Twitter yesterday, and the saltiness in the replies was quite entertaining. And the reason why the salt in replies is because I posted on Twitter saying, when every man and his dog starts screaming about the same coin, altcoin, shitcoin, whatever you want to call them, when everyone starts screaming about it, saying, look how far it's done, look how many X it's done, that's not the time to FOMO in. And that's the problem with retail. That's the issue, is the time to get in were when it wasn't discussed, or maybe when there was a handful of people talking about it, right? And I'm going to openly admit, I'm not in this because I don't get involved in these kind of projects. I'm just not interested. I can make more money trading Bitcoin, trading Ethereum, and trading established coins, as well as traditional markets and FX, than I need to be gambling in stuff like this, because as far as anyone's concerned, these are just all rogues. You know, it might not be. It might have a long life. It might carry on going up. It could do. But quite frankly, I don't care. But what my point is once every man and his dog starts chanting about it on Twitter and on YouTube, then that's the time to take profit. And what happened yesterday, everyone, from yesterday morning, everyone was banging on about it, banging on about it, banging on about it. And then what happened? It tops out 9 o'clock in the morning, peak euphoria, and it pulled back 43%. And again, the salt in the comments in the replies to that tweet, it was just entertaining. And the reason why the salt in the comments is because people have seen all these tweets, they've quickly gone on to whatever tool they're using to buy this, or whatever exchange they're using to buy this, and they've just FOMO'd in, because they're just hoping it's going to carry on going up. But since the lows, it's already gone up 906%. Okay? Now, am I saying it's got to stop there? It can't go higher? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, once everyone starts tweeting about it, it's a time to take profits. It's not a time to FOMO in. The reason why most of these accounts, these big accounts, start shilling it once it's pumping like hell is because they need exit liquidity. So you come in and you buy it up here, that means they've got someone to sell their bags to. So they can make their profits and walk away happy as day. They've made their however many X returns, and you're left holding a bag that pulls back 43%, and chances are just wiped out your returns. Okay? So that's just a little bit of alpha there for you. Don't start FOMOing into coins once every man and his dog starts talking about it. And there's a few more examples out there at the moment as well. Okay? So that's first. So what could happen here? Well, we did have a nice 43% pullback, and then we've had a nice push up again, another 70%. So, you know, if you did cash in on the pullback straight into this SR flip, then happy days. But would I be longing up here? No, not really. If I was trading this, let's throw it onto log. Let's have a look. So if we use this pivot low here to here to here, we can see here we're up at the 2618 extension. So for me, and again, this is on log, it's on log scale, this is a very extended move. Okay. Now, if we're looking at this in terms of Elliott wave, could we be saying something like that this is a 1, 2, maybe this is the 3 perhaps? Is this the 3? Was that the 4? If that's the 4, then compared to the 2, that's not long enough in my opinion. So we'll say, well, is the 4 going to come in? And then you're looking for a 5. Or could we say that the 3's already been in and this is a 5? Could be. Again, Elliott wave. Very subjective, especially when you're looking on a shitcoin like this. But all I would know from this is I wouldn't be interested in longing up here. I'd be interested if this formed a new range. If this starts to form a range here, between these highs and these lows, okay, and you do get a decent range, and you come down, and you come back up, we've tested the range high again, if we do come back down again, test the range low, perhaps grab this liquidity here, reclaim within the range, then yeah, you might be interested in looking for longs. And the beauty of understanding how to trade the range is it means you can get involved in trending moves. So if this does happen and you take this long, and it comes up to range highs and it just blasts straight through the range highs and carries on going up to the next fib extension target, then you potentially caught part of the trend. Absolutely fine. And that's a better option in my eyes than just longing randomly because you've seen some Twitter account talk about it, who likely might only even have $50 in the game because they're just tweeting about it for engagement purposes. Okay? If this doesn't happen and this starts to roll over, comes back down, loses this range low, then you could be looking at a more significant drop. Now, if we throw in a volume profile onto this whole thing, let's see where the volume is. Oh, it's all down here, isn't it? Back in the original accumulation range. Okay, bear in mind this is a fairly thin move. We're looking at this on a 1 hour chart because it's a very new coin, okay? Very new coin, it's a 1 hour chart. So aside from this cluster here, there's not much support here. This is all very thin. So if it does lose this cluster here and takes out this low, then you can be looking at a significant drop back down towards value again. Okay? If value area high doesn't hold, you're looking back down at your point of control. Because again, anyone that's been trading this all the way up, the stops beneath each one of these. Okay? Which could cause a cascade effect. Okay? Coins that go up fast, just like Bitcoin, can come down just as fast because there's no structural support. Okay? Now what happens if it just carries on up? Well, if it just carries on up, then again, your next major targets to be looking at would be the 3-point extension. Above that, your 3618. Okay? Bear in mind, this is all blue sky territory. Okay? FOMO could still carry on going in and people could still carry on aping in because they haven't got a clue how to trade and they're just trying to get rich from one trade, and it could just carry on going up. It could. I'm not saying it can't. But once you start seeing some weakness, that's the time to get the hell out. Okay? What do I mean by weakness? Well, I mean a market structure change, quite simply. And bear in mind, it's a fairly new coin, so you're going to be looking at on a fairly low time frame, something like the 1 hour here. So we've got this first low. Does this create a new high, or is this a lower high? Lower low? Is that getting involved? Okay? Right. So that's it. So remember, when everyone starts talking about a coin, or a stock, or an asset, or anything, then it's not the time to FOMO in. Okay? When there's only a handful of people talking about it, fair enough. But when every man and his dog is talking about the same coin and you just see a million tweets with that coin in, it's not the time to be FOMOing in. Okay? If you want to learn how to trade like I do, then the link's down in the description below. Come up to our website, spitfiretraders.com. Okay? Come join our free Discord. In our free Discord, we've just had an announcement that came out yesterday where you can actually get free access to all our educational content. You just need to go into our free Discord and check out our announcements channel. Obviously, if you do want to access our educational content, then the video library is on our website, which tells you everything that you need to know, what's in the content so far. We do have another live stream tonight. And in the live stream tonight, we're going to be finishing off our accumulation and distribution modules. And then we're going to be moving on to our next topics within a couple of weeks. Okay? So, again, if you want to join this, it'll cost you the grand old price of £60, or in dollars term, that's $75. All right, so that'll do. Hope you've learned something, and don't forget to hit that like button if you have. All right, gang, as you were. Bye bye.